Well, good morning guys. It's a nice fine morning. It's overcast. We had a few good days of really unseasonably warm weather. It's middle spring and it's very nice. I haven't been out for a while. No real excuses. I just haven't been out. I've been pursuing a few things indoors. I've been trying to find a few things. It's lost in my man cave somewhere. I've lost my string hammock, but now I'm back into my local woodland. This is about a 5 or 10 minute walk from where I live, and it's very nice. I'm going to cover a few things today, a little bit on a hammock and maybe a tarp. But I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a brew up. I brought the cooking kit out with me, and I've got a sandwich, an apple, and maybe a bit of foraging. Anyway guys, I'm just going to pan around to the lake. Right, there we go. Whoops, sorry about that. Bit of bad filming there. Now this lake has just been desilted. We're back to about, the lake was originally 3 foot deep. Now we're back down to being 6 foot deep. They've done a big job desilting, shoring up the banks for the fishing pegs, and really done an awful lot of work. It looks bare at the moment, and it's much to the dismay of some of the local people. They think it's ruined. The lake isn't ruined as such, it's just got to undergo a period of healing, so to speak. They've really cut back some of the undergrowth, the laurel and the rhododendron, which wasn't particularly very nice to have around. Rhododendron poisons the ground and stops other stuff from growing. But I'm just going to have a wander around here, see what there is. They're working on getting this all sorted out now, making it a little bit more pleasant for the public, but not, in a sense, not so for me, because they've ruined a lot of my foraging. But they'll all grow back. The lake is not natural. It was originally an ornamental lake for a large house called Sherwood House, which now no longer exists. And the whole thing is actually quite good. You did have some nice carp in there, but unfortunately they've died. But c'est la vie. Anyway guys, I'm going to take a little wander and catch you a little bit further on my travels. Well, there we go guys. I'm going to pan around. All the green shoots you can see on the woodland floor, the bluebells, and we've got some that have already come out. Yep, there's not so many bluebells in these woods. Near where I used to live in Maidstone, the woods around there are a thick blue carpet, interspersed with 1 or 2 orchids, but here we just got a few bluebells. A sure sign that spring is here. I'm hoping to find a little bit to forage, maybe stinging nettles somewhere in these woodlands. There is some ramsons, there's a small patch, but I keep forgetting where they are. But other than that, and I'm going to check out the beech trees, see how far the leaves have come. Maybe I'll be in here next week to pick the leaves, steep them in gin and a little bit of brandy. I'll explain a bit more later. It's beautiful in here today, a lovely spring morning. And of course there's my ever faithful little companion Alfie. Right, stinging nettles guys, we all know about stinging nettles, great for cordage when they've grown a bit taller, but at this stage I'm going to pluck a few tops, make a sort of an impromptu soup if I can, and or just cook them up over a stove. Great, they're full of bits and pieces that will do us good. Protein, very high in protein. Got a lot of vitamins, particularly vitamin C and A. It's very good for you. And a few B vitamins, I do believe. I should have to look that up. Anyway guys, I'm going to carry on foraging for a bit and see you in a minute. Well, there you go, a Arum maculatum, not good for foraging. Known as lords and ladies because later on in the year the leaves will have dark spots and it sort of resembles ermine. Also known as cuckoo pink, and it has a lovely flower stalk on it with bright red berries. Lovely plant, but not a forageable one. Well, here you go folks, a nice little find in my local woodland, in stand of ramsons. A bit earlier I picked up some nettle tops. I've got a few in my bag, in this little tiny foraging bag that I use, and I'm going to pick a few of these and I'm going to make an impromptu soupy type thing in these backwoods. See what I can cook up. Anyway guys, lovely ramsons. One of the ways of identifying, or a number of ways of identifying ramsons, is if you tear the leaf, you'll have that overwhelming smell of garlic, hence its name, Allium ursinum, or bear garlic. But also the veins of the leaf run from the base to the tip, they don't branch off. There is another leaf plant, I cannot quite remember its name now. It looks very similar. It's the lily of the valley, that's it. It looks similar, the leaves are very similar shape, but the veins branch off. And obviously you don't have the overpowering smell of garlic. But always be careful when you're foraging and make sure you can identify the plant 100%. But this is very pungent round here. All I can smell at the moment is garlic. I'll do an updated review on the hammock that I use. I have two hammocks. I have a string hammock, which at the moment I just cannot find, and I normally use that as my sort of like going out for the day hammock. It's just great to use as a seat. When you get to my great age, you want to be able to sit comfortably rather than keep crawling around on the ground. But the hammock I'm going to go through today is one, as I said, I use a lot. Use it for my nights out, for my weeks away on courses and what have you, and it's a DD travel hammock. It comes in what I call the sausage skin, and it's a very good little hammock. Now I've done one or two modifications which I shall go through first. When you first get the hammock from DD, it comes with straps at either end to tie it to your tree or to the posts. But what I've done is I've actually cut the straps off, and basically to about a foot in length. If I just undo the sausage skin a little bit, right, so basically it's going through the end of the hammock and it comes round. I've sealed the knot, I've tied it and sealed it, and I've put a climbing carabiner. I must emphasise it has to be a climbing carabiner. This is rated at 23 kilonewtons, which is about 30 stones I think. So you need to have a climbing hammock. And what I've made is, with a couple of climbing tapes, you can actually get the spare tape off of DD, and I actually did it with the ends of the tape of this, is to make tree huggers, which are these. They're about 2 metres, they're just over 2 metres in length, so you want more, when you double it up you want it more than 2 metres, because every 2 fists I tie a knot. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, right down to the other end. Now these knots help with the tree hugger principle. Basically whip around the tree and you thread it through, and this I will demonstrate in a minute. The hammock itself comes with a fly screen, or with a mosquito net, and it comes with 2 inside pockets, and it comes with what I call an envelope, which you can slide your sleeping mat into, whether it's a thermarest type or whether it's a closed cell mat. I have tried using blankets in the past and found it very unsatisfactory, but I say, as I said earlier, I've got what I call tree huggers, and these basically help put it up in a very quick fashion. I can get this up in under 2 minutes. You can use other systems. There are whoopee slings and what have you. You can just use the tapes that come with it and tie it onto the tree, but this I find is very efficient, particularly if it's starting to rain and you want to get your hammock up quickly. And it also makes it easier if you wish to work underneath your tarp and the weather's a bit inclement. You can actually put away the hammock for a little while and then hook it back up again. So guys, what I'm going to do now is I shall put the hammock up and you can see how it goes together. First, depending on how high you want to have your hammock. I try and use that principle of having the banana shape going in that curve. So use that finger and tip of that thumb, tip of that finger, and you sort of push it in there. Now I normally pick about a height about, I'm 5'10", and I normally try and pick about there. So I'll come around the tree like so, and you throw it through. And I do likewise at another end. And I do likewise at another end. Try and pick a nice pipe, about there, thread it through. It does take a bit of juggling sometimes. And of course we've got the awkward bit now. We're going to put the actual hammock up itself. So basically what I do is I'll just pick a spot. I think that one I'll do today. Maybe I'm going to have to drop it down at the other end, but basically you just hook it through there like so. Let's have a look. So there we go guys, the hammock in its banana shape, and you'll find it's very good. If I do that, you can see you've got that shape between your fingers, and that is what you're looking for. And that's just far enough off the ground. Right, first we peel back the sausage skin. Of course, the advantage of having the carabiners on is they act as drip stops as well. And there we go. We've got the hammock itself. Now, on the hammock, on the fly screen, you've got either end you've got a set of loops. I haven't got them with me today, but you do have the ability to put some spacers in there to bring it out. But I've also got some bungee. This comes with bungee cord as well, and this is very useful for setting up the hammock. So basically what you do is you just pop this around the tree, and what I've done is I've got a couple of night eyes S-beaners, and I can just slip this around the tree and it holds it up. What I'll do is I'll pan it around and you can see what I mean. comes up to here. Being as there's a bungee and being a bit elastic, I'm just around the tree. Not really. Hold it up like so. Oh, found a penny. And do likewise at the other end. Right, there's a hammock set up. As I said, you get the ability to stretch it out like so. Inside I've done some cordage on the loops on the inside so I can hang stuff up. This is the envelope, and your sleeping mat goes in there, and you've got double zips on either side. That goes back, and all you can do now is just sit down. Now this for me is at my optimum height. I can put my feet flat on the ground, and if needs be I can swing round. I try to keep my feet slightly higher than my head. It enables me to have a more comfortable sleep. Some people like their feet lower than their head because apparently they get headaches, but this is it. And this is the hammock, all lovely and set up. On the next video I shall be setting up my tarp on how I set my tarp up. What I'm going to do is actually go through a whole camp setup at some point. I haven't done one for a while, and it's good to sort of refresh myself. But this is the hammock, and it's a very good little hammock, well worth the money. It's only about 50 quid. I've had this for a few years now, and I've never looked back. I think you get to a certain point of when you're kipping out in the woods that kipping on the ground is just too much effort. Moorlands, of course you've got to do that. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that little stint, and I'll catch you down the line. Well, I hope you like that short little video and putting up the hammock. It's a good little hammock. I like the DD hammock. It's quite easy to fall into the trap of buying another hammock to see what that one's like and keep comparing them. But that's falling into the realm of acquiring lots of shiny kit. Oh, the sun's come out, very nice. Well, I'm enjoying a brew now. And it's a rather nice sandwich. I was going to have a bit of a cook up today, but I haven't got any. Anything. I've got the ramsons, I've got the nettles. I shall probably cook them up at home and have them for my lunch. Not done a video for a while. It's been a few weeks. It's basically work and life getting in the way. I've been trying to sort out my man cave. I've been trying to find a few things. I've almost got a sort of like a day kit put together, which I've used today, apart from the string hammock, which I cannot find. I know it's in that room somewhere. It packs down quite small. In fact, I can actually get the hammock inside the billy can. But that is another story. Yeah, I've been looking around lately. I'm in a couple of bushcraft groups on Facebook, and they're quite interesting. I do run young, but I haven't done much in that for a long time. I've accepted a few people onto it, but I haven't done any work on it for a long time, which I should do. I should try and make it more active. And on that respect, a few things come to me when I've looked at these sites. People come up with their little tins of their survival tins. Not much good really. Good psychologically, but as far as the survival tin goes, they're not much good. You should have your knife on your belt, and obviously a saw on your belt. That should be enough to get you by. You should be able to, in a survival situation, which hopefully we shouldn't find ourselves in. The survival tin is as a psychological thing. The hobo fishing line, I've tried hobo fishing and I find it extremely tedious. If you're going to go out trying to acquire food, you're better off making a long line for fish and putting it out there, because a long line is working while you're doing something else. Building your shelter or making a trap to trap something else. And as I say, I find the survival tin a bit of a, I don't know, it just doesn't really work in my book. Never has done, ever since, you know, I first discovered these when I was many years ago, 30 odd years ago, when people start putting these little tins together. I thought to myself, then, you know, waste of time, not good. Not that I've not had a go. I in the past, before sort of like my mind changed, I did try doing this, and even then it just didn't feel right. You know, it's survival's up here. It's an attitude of mind. You can't take these tins onto the aeroplane, so it's going to be in the hold. If the plane crashes, you're not going to be able to get there, are you? But if you're out in the woods and you're walking through the woods, if you've got your knife on your person, now I normally carry two knives on my person. I carry a folding knife, and I normally carry my jacklaw or my woodlaw knife, or one of the other knives that I've acquired over the years. It's normally the jacklaw knife. I've normally got that on my belt when I'm out in the woods, and that should suffice. If push comes to shove, that's on you all the time. Your tin's normally in your pocket. You should always carry a first aid kit. In that first aid kit I've got a pair of scissors and a set of tweezers, so you know, I'm pretty well covered. I'm also, as I said earlier, I want to do another video on putting my tarp up. It's coming to that time of year now, the days are getting longer and people are starting to go out more. And what I would like to say is just keep your eyes open for rubbish, guys. You know, if you see a bit of rubbish kicking around, pick it up, pack it out. It might not be yours, but often I see this rubbish about. These woods I go through here, it's full of rubbish. You know, people drop tins, you know, kids during their summer holidays and that come and have a little bit of a booze up. There's often empty drinks tins, particularly around the lake. If you pack it out, try and keep the place tidy. It makes it easy for everybody else. The rangers for the area of Loch Lomond and the Trossachs are looking to try to curtail wild camping because of that very problem of people building fires, not putting them out properly, and leaving loads of rubbish behind. Now these people will be the weekend campers, the occasional people that go out. The hardcore guys will always pack away or take minimal kit out with you. I'm got it in mind to do a few cooking videos. In that respect, I will be building an open fire because I want to demonstrate cooking on an open fire. I'll be cooking things like fish, maybe some meat, obviously some porridge foods and bannock and what have you. Any requests on a cooking video, guys, just send it along. I don't use Dutch ovens. The heaviest thing I use is my billy can. That's basically because I hike out to where I go. The canoe's going to get a breakout this year. It did it last year. Going to go down the coast on it. I'll go take it to the coast and have a little paddle around the sea. And near me is a river called the River Medway, and from the Tunbridge locks up to the source it's free. I don't have to have my licence. From the locks down to the estuary you need a BCU licence. And I want to have a little paddle on that. Take Elfie the Wonder Hound out with me. Saw a rather ironic photograph, well, actually, and that was on Simply Bushcraft. I think the irony was that there was a camp that someone made in the woods. I made this sort of semi-permanent camp, and above it another person had put a take nothing but photographs, leave nothing but footprints type advert, type photograph up, and I thought it rather ironic because I try and make a minimal impact on the environment. We all make an impact on the environment. When we go out camping, at some point we make an impact on where we are. We cannot help doing that. You know, for the mere fact you put your foot down. It's trying to make as little impact as possible, and that's what I try and do. I like my open fire when I decide to make one, but I use either a wood gas stove or a Trangia burner. My three favourite setups: Trangia burner, wood gas stove, open fire. The open fire does me for a number of things. Psychologically it's very reassuring. If I'm cooking bannock, I can cook 2 or 3 things at the same time on the fire. To that end, sometimes it's useful taking a bag of self-lighting charcoal out with you. Some of the wild food courses I've done in the past, we tend to use that. It helps not impact on the resources around here, because even though you burn wood, you know, you're taking wood and you're burning it. Now that wood would have been useful for, you know, other animals live off that wood. Beetle larvae, for instance, trees, woodpeckers, dead trees, all sorts, deer, all sorts of animals require that environment, require that wood, not just us. We can be terribly selfish. But it's nice, as I say, it's nice to have the open fire. What have I done? Yeah, I've done a bit on the survival tins and the psychology. Oh yeah, the beech leaf. I mentioned beech leaves earlier on the foraging bit. I'm making a drink. I've done raspberry vodka. I've done cherry brandy. I've done damson gin. I've done sloe gin, which is quite nice. They're sitting in the cupboard waiting to be consumed. Now, within the next couple of weeks, I'll be making beech leaf noyau, which is a rather refreshing drink. It's really good. You get your kilner jar, about a big kilner jar like that, and you pack it tight full of very young beech leaves. And this is what I've been spying out today. And then you fill it up with gin, a little bit of cinnamon maybe, some brown sugar, and a slop of brandy. Turn it upside down every day, you know, just keep turning it over every day so the gin and the sugars and whatever go through the leaves, and then leave it like that for about 6-7 weeks. Then decant the gin off. Well, it's no longer gin as such, it's beech leaf noyau. Decant it off and just leave it for a while. It'll mature, and it is really, really tasty. Quite a refreshing tipple. and quite moorish as well. As I said, that's very nice. The foraging season for me is in full swing. I haven't done so much as I normally do. I've not been eating so much as I normally do. I'm after getting a catapult because I want to get myself some pigeon and I want to get myself a squirrel. For those, I like to eat these foods. I don't believe in hunting for hunting's sake. If I'm going to go out and get myself a squirrel, it must be consumed. And I actually quite like the taste of squirrel, and I quite like the taste of pigeon. It's a couple of years since I had a pigeon. No, last year I had pigeon. Last year I had squirrel. Normally I do these on the courses, but I want to go and do stuff on my own account. And I'm hoping to be able to get away for a few days this year. I'm not doing any courses this year, but I just want to get away on my own account, either up into the Cairngorms or up to the Scottish coast or down our coastal district over here, Dorset or wherever. Got my shrimp net and do a bit of coastal foraging, do a bit of cooking up. Anyway guys, so I'm going to finish my tea. I'm going to have a little pack up because my little doggy there is looking at me saying I would like to go and have a little wander. And so would I. Just on a closing note, these woods often have deer in them, but I haven't seen any for a while, and I think that's because there's been a lot of building over that way, which is where I live in sort of that direction, and behind me there's been a lot of building as well. There was a bit of land that's never been developed, and it was bought by a housing association, and they're actually developing it. People need somewhere to live, and I think it's sort of like keeping the wildlife out at the moment. There's plenty of deer sign, it's just they're not as noticeable as they normally be. Well anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little chat. I don't get as many responses as I used to on my videos, but that's salary. Anyway, if you do want to respond, please do. And if you want to furnish me with some ideas of videos you would like to see me do, I will do them, or I will endeavour to do them. There'll be some backyard bushcraft as well. You know, me doing my crafty projects, a bit of weaving, a bit of spoon carving. I'm carving a spoon at the moment out of beech. I've let the beech season a bit too much, it's incredibly difficult, but it's a nice shape spoon, it's an unusual shape. And remember, bushcraft isn't only going out into the woods, it's acquiring skills, even if it's in your own back garden. Cheers guys. Oh, it's time to take my leave. Well, I'm on my way home now and just popped into the pharmacy to pick up my prescription, but I've come across this. Now just down the road they're developing, and I used to see a lot of this and pick it, but now I've found all of this. Cardamom pratensis, part of the cabbage family. Very nice, got a lovely peppery taste to it. Been a good day foraging.